I've started the recording. So let's see. So the first point is OSSIM is the product of AlienVault. Basically, AlienVault is having two products. One is OSSIM, another one is USM. OSSIM is open source, which is providing the basic features, and if you need the most advanced and more features, then you have to switch to the USM. So they have two different products. So OSSIM is available under an ISO file, so we can download an ISO and install it under a VM. The minimum requirement is 4 GB of RAM. So we have done that. We have downloaded and we have installed the VM. So here under the resources, we can find all the documentations. So most of the documents are available for USM, but since the products are based on the same source code, so they are similar. So the USM's documentation is applicable for OSSIM also. So we do not have to search for the different documents, because since it is an open source product, so you will not find a separate documentation for that. So let's see. Let's see the first console, which is the VM one. So here in Calcutta we have created one VM. The VM name is VM VAPT call. VM VAPT call. Let's open the console. I believe you are already familiar with the console, because last time you worked on troubleshooting the database issue.
Yeah, little bit.
Yes. So there are two accounts. One is root, another one is admin. If you are logging from the CLI, you have to use root.
Okay.
And if you are using the browser web-based login, then you have to use the admin account. Okay. So here you can see the current version is AlienVault USM 5.2.2. We are using OSSIM, but still here what is visible? USM, their commercial product.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's log in. So I'm going to type the credentials. The password is the default one, which is Atlas123. Okay. So after login, it will display your UI. So you can use your arrow keys to navigate to any of the options. You can reboot the appliance, you can shut down the appliance, you can change whatever you want. And if you want to jailbreak the system, that means if you jailbreak the system, you will get the CLI access of the Linux kernel. But however, it is not recommended to jailbreak the system.
Okay.
As per their documentation, they are recommending to do not break the jail. But in case if you need, you can jailbreak the system. So these here you can go in the system preferences and you can do whatever you want. If you want to check the IP address or the host name and the email settings and location password, whatever it is, you can do it from here. So this console is very familiar. You can go to any of the options and you can do whatever you want. Okay. So this was the CLI console, which requires root credential. And let's move to web-based credentials. So the URL is ossim.atlasindia.local. You have to prefix HTTPS. Okay. Here you have to use admin. The password is same, but you have to use admin. Let it log in.
This credential, where can I set that credential?
You can go to the control panel and you can change. Okay. At the time of installation, it is asking for the default account. So we have set the default password, which we are using for all systems. So that you can use here. Let it load. By that time, let me give you an overview of OSSIM. Let's move to Wikipedia and here, both. Let's take the reference of both. OSSIM. Okay, so OSSIM is the world's most widely used open source SIEM. Okay, basically SIEM is a consolidated product which collects the logs from multiple resources and it gives you a centralized dashboard to analyze. So here there are multiple sources which you can configure to get the data under the same software, and there you can analyze what are the security threats which are present on your environment and how you can mitigate those. So here what OSSIM is doing is using multiple sources, multiple web sources for collection of data. If you see, here it is not mentioned. Let me show you under the Wikipedia. There are multiple open source products which are available for vulnerability testing and other. So let's go to here. See, like when we compared all the products for our VAPT projects, we found some of these. For example, this OpenVAS. Initially, Nessus was an open source project, but after that, in I believe in 2003 or 2007, they have changed their licensing from open source to closed sourced. So the source code, the source code which was available as open, the last code, what the community has done is they have created a new fork from the same code and they have renamed the project as OpenVAS. So OpenVAS is based on the source code of Nessus, the open source one which was available. So the functionality is same, just like Nessus. Okay. Then second, there are two IDS systems. You know IDS, right? Intrusion detection system.
Yeah.
We had a discussion last time on this. So there are two products available under IDS. One is Snort, another one is Suricata.
Okay.
So however, Nessus is using Snort. They have disabled the Suricata in this version. So if you are going to use only OpenVAS feature of OSSIM, so that means you can scan the network for vulnerabilities.
Okay.
It is just a vulnerability scanner. But if you want to analyze all the traffic for any intrusion, then you have to configure Snort.
Okay.
This is the IDS. Okay. And apart from that, OSSIM is using HIDS. HIDS is also an IDS. IDS stands for Intrusion Detection System. But what it can detect? The traffic which is coming to the node. But all traffics are not coming to the server, so it can analyze. So there is
I'm interrupting you.
Okay.
Can you not parallelly use those tools like OpenVAS and Snort?
Oh, actually we have configured only OpenVAS. We haven't configured all the one. So I'm just giving.
It is possible, right?
Yes. So I'm just giving overview. What are the features available, and then we'll see what we have used and what are the features available which you can use.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We have used only OpenVAS for generating the reports. Okay. So HIDS is host-based IDS. That means what it will do is it will push the client software to all the systems. It will push the client software to all the systems, and after deploying the clients, you can collect the statistics from all the nodes, whether it is server.
Agents.
Yes, agents.
Okay.
So that is also an functionality. Okay, if you can configure NetFlow, so your firewall and your router will send all the NetFlow statistics, NetFlow samples to OSSIM, so you can analyze which type of traffic is flowing from your network. So there are multiple products available. It depends what types of implementation you want. So OSSIM is a collection of tools. But in our testing, what we have used is we have used only this feature. Okay, OpenVAS. So let's see what we can do. Here, this is a dashboard. Here you can see the top alarms, events, and if you connect to the OTS account, you will get the updates, what is happening on the internet. Okay, so this is a normal dashboard, and there is a system of ticketing, internal ticketing, security, and vulnerabilities. But before running any of the scan, you can do one thing. You can add the assets manually, or you can run a scan. For that, what you have to do is you have to go to environment. Okay, here what we have to do is first we have to select the asset, whether asset is present or not. If you click on asset, see here these are the assets which are auto discovered. If you want, you can run a scan. You can run a scan. You can add through a manually or through a CSV, means Excel file, or you can scan for new assets. If you run a scan, it will scan all your network. It depends on you how you are going to run the scan. What is your subnet? For example, I want to scan 10 subnets, so it will scan all the 10 subnets, and after that it will give you uh, these assets are available. And once you got the assets, for example,
This subnet, have
this
you manually added those subnet, or it is detecting by default?
these no, this we haven't done any configuration yet. So this is the automatic one which the software has detected. Okay, so let's see for my system. If I want to do something, what I need to do is for a specific this system, I need to select this. This is only one IP. If you are adding a subnet, it will work for the whole subnet. Then you can go into under the action and you can run the asset scan, run the vulnerability scan. If you are using the vulnerability scan, that means OSSIM is going to use OpenVAS. If you want to use HIDS, then you have to deploy HIDS clients. Okay,
Okay.
so all these things you can do. So the basic functionality currently which we need is the vulnerability scan. So
Okay.
just after discovering the assets, you can select that those assets and you can click on vulnerability scan. Okay, so for that you have to create a job. Let's create a test job, and you can do one thing. You can run this job immediately, and if you want, you can schedule it. Okay, so in this case, I want to execute it immediately, and if you want to specify a specific credential for that scan, so you can specify it here also. Okay, so let's see. Let's create a new job. Okay, vulnerability scan in progress. If you go to schedule scans, just 1 minute. Yeah, here you will be getting under the scan jobs. See, this icon means the scan is going on.
Okay.
Who has created this one? Okay, and by the time the scan is running, you will be getting the real-time results. How many serious vulnerabilities you have detected, how many high, how many medium, how many low, and how many are the information. If you want to create a schedule job, you can create it here. Okay, under the report sections, you can generate a report just by selecting the parameters which you want, and you can click on download. Okay,
Okay.
so the dashboard is the integrated view of all type of sensors. Okay, what you are going to use. As we have already discussed, we can use NetFlow, we can use another syslog sensors, we can deploy HIDS, we can use SNOT as an IDS. Okay, so whatever the information you are getting on OSSIM, that will be displayed here. Okay,
Okay.
or top alarms, top events, everything on the dashboard. And if you go to the executive, there will be a summary, and the vulnerability details you will be getting here. So as much you are configuring, the more resources you will be getting more data here. That you can proceed gradually. First you can choose only OpenVAS. Let's scan for the vulnerability testing only, and later on, once you have studied well about the another scanning technology or another source of information like syslog or NetFlow, then you can configure syslog or NetFlow to collect all those data under this dashboard. So it will be only one dashboard for all type of information related to security.
Okay.
Means one-stop shop for all security related information. Okay, so here you can see one more thing is here is the configuration. UI is little typical. So you have to see, for example, let's come to vulnerabilities and scan jobs. I'm running a Windows 10, so I don't think there will be any vulnerability will be detected on my system. Okay, so if you go to configuration, let's go to configuration, uh, administration. You can see I am logged in using admin account. If you want to create new user, you can click on here. Okay, the email ID is this. Okay, this section is about the backups and other things what you can do. Okay, at what time you have taken a configuration backup if you want to see the logs and all those things. And this is about the deployment, and this is not like yeah, you can say this is not a single product, like you have to deploy all the things on the same node. You can install the same software at the time of installation. At the time of installation you are getting the option if you want, do you want to install only sensor, or do
Okay.
you want to install the sensor and server both. So this system is installed as all-in-one. That means the system is the sensor also, and the system is having the both roles, sensor role and server role both. So for example, if you have one more site like Coimbatore, so you have installed only sensor and you have pointed the sensor to the server. So sensor will scan all the things and that will send only summary reports to the server. So you will be getting all the report under the same dashboard. You do not have to create two consoles and two dashboards and two control panel, all those things. So here you can see AlienVault Center, we have only the server. If you have multiple sensors, you can click here and you can see. Here the system information is we are using 4 GB of RAM. Since the scan is going on, that's why the CPU utilization is 100%. If the scan is not running, it will be around some 20-25%. If you want to verify, if you want to modify anything, you have to click, not single click, you have to double click.
Okay.
You have to double click. Yes, if you want to modify anything, you have to double click. After double click, you can see the current version of the server is 5.2.2, which is the updated one. These many of packets are installed. This is the interface status. This is the RAM usage and system uptime. System uptime is 2 days 5 hours. This is the fresh VM. We haven't configured anything. Okay, so and this is the CPU utilization, all these things, and plugin versions, and you can see the trends. And if you want to modify,
this is all under configuration tab.
yes, under the configuration and the administration.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move to general configuration. Here, let it load.
This IO port and LAN port is showing about the VM.
No, actually, if you want to configure multiple sources, like apart from vulnerability scanning, if you want to collect the logs from NetFlow and syslog sensors, in that case you need two NICs.
Okay.
So that's why by default two NICs are there, but we have configured only one, the default one, which is this. This is the IP address. Okay. If you want to change the system name, host name, you can change it from here. And if you want to verify, modify the time source, you can specify your NTP server here. And if you want to specify your email server, SMTP server, you can verify, you can supply the information here. But I don't want to do anything, so you will be getting a press, so you can do it by yourself.
Okay.
So this is the server status. You can see this is some alarm is going on, SQL storage, correlation, all these things are there. Okay. So let's move. See, what we have seen is currently we have used only this one, vulnerabilities, which is scanning your network using OpenVAS. But as I already discussed, you can configure multiple type of sources to collect the data. For example, NetFlow. If you are going to configure, you will be getting all the flow statistics here. But in that case, you have to configure flows on the servers, not only servers, the network devices. You know about NetFlow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Network
NetFlow is a
material.
sampling. NetFlow is a sampling technique. So, for example, if you want to do the monitoring beyond layer 3, if you want to see who are the senders and who are the receivers of the data, and which type of information is going on. So after configuring the NetFlow, what NetFlow will do is will send the sample data to the sensor. For example, if you have configured the ratio of 100, so what it will do is it will sample every one packet of every 100 packets, and it will send to the server. So server can analyze which type of traffic is going on, who is the sender, who is the receiver, and how much traffic is going on. So that is the NetFlow, and you can see set the traffic captured and uh, IDS, HIDS as per your requirement. So this was
And
the overview.
under environment, I'll be getting that features.
Yes.
Network
So
features.
we haven't deployed any client under the testing also. So if you are going to deploy any clients, you will get here how many clients you have deployed, what is it, what are the things. For example, if you see IDS is enabled,
Deployment, running scan or deployed agent?
deployment of the tools means which type of sources you have deployed. For example, you haven't deployed any, you don't have any asset visibility. There are no servers and no network devices
Haven't
connected.
haven't added any.
IDS is enabled by default, but you haven't configured any network devices to route all the traffic. IDS will detect the attack only if the traffic is coming to the IDS sensor. For that, you have to configure port mirroring or any of the mechanism to collect all the traffic and send it to the IDS sensor. So if the traffic is coming to the IDS sensor, then only it will. Just a minute. Okay. Okay. Atnu, we have to join Amit's room after 5 minutes.
Okay.
Amit's WebEx room. So
Regarding?
I don't know. He said he needs everyone.
Okay.
So this is the status. If you want to deploy
Okay.
clients and all those things, you can get it
See,
here.
I think just give me another day time. I will go through all
No
this
problem. No
all
problem.
this
Yes,
links.
the best resource is under the here. You can, if you go to the under resource, you can find the documentation, and you can find all the webcast. You can see it from here. Training webcast and all this webcast. You can see all these videos from here also.
Okay.
So I will IM you the password. I believe you have already seen this one, the server URL, which is
And
ossim.atlasindia.org.
how can I get that URL from here? If I forgot to bookmark or something.
Which URL?
This one.
This one is simple. ossim.atlasindia.
OSSIM@india.local. Okay.
Simple.
The DNS configured.
Yeah, we have already configured. Just for so we cannot forget. So that's why we have configured the DNS. Okay. So any further questions? Any confusion?
Yeah, I will ask.
Yes, definitely. Just
Let me go through that. Yes.
just start logging into the system and go through the documentation and all the videos. And if you have any points, just get back to me. If I was aware, then I will let you know the answers. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Atanu.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Recording stop कैसे हो रही है सिद्धार्थ?